Hey, I'm not Lily. All right, we've got kind of a weird episode today. So Lily is ill, unfortunately. A lot of people I know are quite sick. But so I am Annabella Laird. I'm the co-producer, and so I will be the host today in place of Lily. May she get better. I miss her. And we've got kind of a weird bit of kind of episode going on. So last weekend, so what I do, my job as the co-producer is to invite guests onto the show. And last weekend, the guests I invited did not show up. So it was me and Lily just talking. And this time, well, one of the guests I invited showed up, but the other ones did not. So it's now just me and Josh. Josh, would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi guys, I'm Josh. I'm a MEA student here at USM, and yeah. Oh wait, what?
Okay, can you talk a little louder?
Oh yeah.
Josh,
I'm an
you're
MEA
pretty quiet.
here,
That's not your fault.
and I do sound and recording, and I'm a transfer student, and it's been fun so far.
I don't think I knew you were a transfer student. Are you from JUCO or Pearl
JUCO,
River?
yeah.
Okay. I know a lot of people who go there. I have a really bad thing. I'll always, when people like in Hattiesburg tell me they're in college, I always assume they're at USM. And it happens a lot of the time that they're at JUCO, and then I feel really bad.
Yeah, that's what most people do.
So, we have always had sort of like a thing with getting guests on the show, especially students. You know, sometimes they don't show up. Sometimes they will cancel last minute. It just happens a lot. But it's happened a lot more recently, I've noticed. This last year, this last semester, I feel like people are just kind of not really wanting to talk about politics on the public air. And I just can't imagine why that doesn't appeal to people. Do you have any ideas, Josh?
I just think politics is becoming more tense.
Yeah.
Like, increasingly,
Mm-hmm.
like the headlines are crazy now. And some people are just scared to speak out about things because, you know, they're just scared of like what the consequences of that, like speaking out, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Like I said, some people just don't show up. Some people just cancel. I do have people sometimes when I reach out and email them, will email me back and be like, hey, so a lot of times they'll be like, I'm trans, I'm an immigrant. I don't want to go talk about this on a podcast, or not a podcast, a radio show, because they don't want that target on their back. And I mean, like, can you blame them, really?
No, that's just sucks that they even have to feel that way.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a live event as well where we invite teachers to come talk. It's News You Need Live. We have it every semester. And teachers especially, that's kind of a group that's sort of under a lot of scrutiny right now.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are not really willing to come talk about politics lest they get put on a list by Turning Point USA or something.
Yeah, especially after the whole, was it Oklahoma?
The University of Oklahoma,
Yes.
the essay thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That happened from just like a bad grade on an essay.
I forget.
Can't imagine like
Exactly. That was
how
just
worse.
something.
Yeah.
Not even that was said, because no political statement was necessarily made by that teacher. That was just something that was a grade given in private to a student.
Yeah.
Which sparked all this public outrage, and they got fired. That teacher did get fired from their job. So yeah, I can't imagine why there's starting to become a lot of hesitancy when talking publicly about these things. But at the same time, I understand the fear too, but at the same time, we do need to.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. So with that, do you have anything you've seen recently, any headlines, anything crazy that you're like, I can't believe this is going on? I have some stuff I can throw at you if you blank, it happens.
It's just the ongoing case with the quote unquote files.
Okay, we talked about this a lot last time, the Epstein files.
It's more
This
crazy stuff.
This especially I find hard to talk about because it's just so.
It's just so absurd, like all that stuff going on. I don't know if you want to get into all that.
Well, we can talk about it. We can talk about like how you're feeling about it. I feel like we talked again a lot last week. It was sort of this idea of now what? Can someone do something?
Yeah.
Can we arrest some people? Or are we just gonna like say, "Whoa, that's so crazy" for a few more minutes, and then just like move on to something else?
I I don't know. It's just there's more stuff being released, more people being more names being dropped in it. It's like, are we actually gonna do something this time, or are we just gonna keep like letting it slide, pretty much?
Have you seen what like Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton's like reaction have been to the files?
I think I saw.
It's really interesting. So Bill Clinton, especially, I can say this because he's in it a lot,
Yeah.
and he's basically going on being like, "Hey, release them anyway." And
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
And that's just so. The meme is the motivation behind it. Is he like this is like the meme is he's like, if I'm going down, I'm taking Donald Trump with me,
Yeah.
which may be it, but the motivation behind, I don't know. It's just crazy. I feel like sometimes I can't even begin to understand what happened or how this happened or what is happening now, you know?
Sometimes I don't want to. It's just
Yeah.
so absurd.
Oh God, no, yeah. We can we can move on to something else. I can
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
a little headline at you. Let's see what we have. All right. Oh, yes. Okay. So how do you feel? Well, you don't have to say how do you feel. Do you have any, or do we have a break coming up? No, we have time. We have time. Okay. Greenland. The U.S. wants it. Does anyone know why?
I'm sure it's resources.
I don't know.
some type of resource.
I'm asking. Does anyone know why? That that wasn't a rhetorical question.
It has to come down to resources most of the time.
But yep. So parts of the federal government shut down, or are expected to shut down this weekend in response to. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm reading. Okay, sorry, that was a different headline, but we can talk about that later. Part of the Department of Homeland Security is shutting down, and we will get to that. But first, so Associated Press did a poll that found that 7 in 10 U.S. adults disapprove of how Trump is handling the issue of Greenland. They don't want him there. They're like, stay away from Greenland. And I kind of see that too. I feel like the only people I find that have any interest in Greenland are like Donald Trump. No one else is really. I'm not even talking about like politicians, but just like in the world, no one else seems really super interested, or like in America seems super interested in like acquiring Greenland. And so I will say genuinely, I am probably pretty uneducated on this topic, but I can't really, I don't understand. What do you think? How do you feel?
I'm not really educated on it either, but it's like, why Greenland? I'm sure it's some type of resources they have that we don't have as much of or something.
I know that's what it tends to be, right? With Venezuela,
Yeah.
everyone it very quickly became common knowledge that Venezuela had the largest oil reserves in the world.
Yeah.
After
We already have our hands in Venezuela. Now we're just going to Greenland as well. We're just like just two things at once.
And I feel like a lot of people have the idea that we should be focusing, especially me. We should be focusing kind of on other things as well, and we will come back with that. We do have a little break coming up, so we'll catch you on what should we be focusing on maybe instead. All right, we're back. We were talking about we left off on Greenland, U.S. intervention in Greenland, maybe that not being so popular among people, and maybe people kind of wanting Donald Trump to focus on some other stuff especially particularly within America.
Yeah, I agree. More internal conflicts and
Yeah.
stuff.
I think that, that really has been kind of, I don't know, it's a motif among Trump's second term so far, is that the campaign was very much affordability, focus on America, America first, no wars,
Yeah.
no foreign, all this stuff about everything. And now he's become president, and now it's all foreign policy. It's no domestic affairs. All let's invade Greenland, let's invade Venezuela, let's get real close with Netanyahu. Let's do all this
bully
stuff.
The world with tariffs. Like,
I know. So I'm gonna ask you your opinion. What would you have him focus on, if you're comfortable sharing that? Trying to just gauge your idea. What do you think, or maybe what do you think people in your circle kind of care about more than acquiring Greenland?
I think more of the people in my circle right now care about like the current ice situation around the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's very I'm always seeing stuff about that on I'm mostly on Instagram. I see it on Instagram.
Yeah. Most people do. I agree. I will say there has been some domestic policy, a lot of anti-immigration law all over the country, and you mentioned like having focus turned more towards that, and I would say Donald Trump has a lot of focus on that. It's just a different kind of focus, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess I'm trying to be kind of objective here, but I'm definitely against ICE, definitely against deportation of quote-unquote illegal citizens, all this stuff that's been going on, all this unnecessary force that's being used on people who are now, well, it's extended to people who aren't even illegal citizens. And we say that a lot. I always want to like put the caveat, yes, but also it shouldn't be used against illegal immigrants anyway. It's besides the point. It's getting really hectic, and it's not necessarily about just the immigrants anymore, but anyone who opposes these sort of officers that are...
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts, any feelings on that? How, when you see that on Instagram, how's that make you feel?
It makes me feel a little angry, and it's like you said, it's like, it's not just them going after these criminal immigrants. It's also like anybody that doesn't like what they're doing, just kind of coming after them as well. It's kind of weird.
I have seen a lot of discussion about this, and I want your opinion on it. Is sort of like the Republican Party used to be the sort of party of don't tread on me, personal freedom, individual rights, government can't control what I do.
Yeah, it used to be.
And now it's very much stop and obey, let them do what they have to do, just don't get in their way, and nothing bad's gonna happen. It's your fault for this, that, and the other. Do you think there's any reasons for that? Because again, that's not a rhetorical question.
I don't.
Who knows?
I don't know if there's a reason for it, but it's just interesting because they were very keen on being like small government and let the people decide more. And now it's kind of
exactly. That is such a good point, especially when they talk about states' rights and individual state freedom. That's really big with Republicans. But now it's very much we're sending federal troops to control different cities. And yes, to control crime in some cases, I guess, is the reason. But if it's for a crime reason, you wouldn't send it to D.C. and Portland first, I feel like.
Yeah.
I saw people talk about, he described Portland, Oregon as like a war zone and like all this stuff, like a third world country.
It's Portland, Oregon.
It's Portland, Oregon.
I haven't been there, but I'm sure like it's not.
I have been
as you described.
to Washington, D.C., which was the first place federal troops were deployed. And again, he said it was for a rampant crime problem. I was in D.C. for the first time about 2 months before that happened. Most beautiful city I've ever been in. Of course, there's different parts of lots of different cities, but that always struck me as like probably one of the safest cities I've ever been in.
I mean,
for sure.
It's the capital. I would hope that it's somewhat.
Yeah, it's just. Yep. So, kind of being the party of individual liberty, state freedom, state rights to control what they want to control. But if you do something we don't like, we're going to send federal troops, or we're going to deport you to a different country, and that's very much a federal thing.
Or cut your funding or something
Or cut
like
your
that.
Yep. So sometimes it's just hard to be like, to find the words for it. It's just like, yep. So, what do you think, going from here, how do you handle all this, do you think?
Handle what exactly?
Just like the state of the world,
State of the
just
world.
waking up in the morning and opening Instagram and seeing all this terrible, crazy stuff. What do you do to like survive?
I just try to be more present in the moment. Back in like 2020 when all that stuff was going on, I was on social media way too much, and it kind of got to my head. And that kind of happened again last semester with the whole shutdown and whatnot. And like I try to stay informed, but I try not to let it consume me too much, because it can definitely mess with your head.
It can. I totally get it. Media news today, especially, we are students of the media, we know, is it can be really good at just like grabbing you and just like sucking you in, and then I don't know, just the way it can change your perception of the world it can be scary sometimes. I've definitely experienced it before. You get so like just stuck in it that you can't see anything else.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because sometimes when you do, or at least in my experience, when you do pull back from it, you feel kind of bad, because it's like, it is important to know all this stuff and like try to help. But God, it can take a toll sometimes.
It really can. Like ever since then, I was like, I try to take a step back every now and then, but still, like I feel like as young people, we should be informed about this stuff.
I think it's a little sad sometimes that I guess it's a little sad that I feel like that the future of the world falls onto the young people who didn't have any choice in how it was shaped.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the world we're given, and so while we do need to stay informed, I definitely think it's important to like take care of yourself and not let yourself get all consumed and just totally fall into it. So I'm gonna go back to that headline I was reading out earlier about the Department of Homeland Security, or the Ministry of War, or whatever it's called. No, that's the Department of War, or whatever it's called now. Okay, so another shutdown for parts of the federal government is expected around this weekend as lawmakers debate new restriction on President Donald Trump's immigration enforcement agenda. So funding for the Department of Homeland Security is expiring Saturday, and Democrats and Republicans are in conflict about Homeland Security because, as of right now, federal armed forces are in different countries, or not different countries, they're stationed in different cities. ICE is deporting a lot of citizens, and all that has to do with Homeland Security as well. So that part of the government may get shut down. It may not receive funding. Do we think that's good? Do we think that's bad? The
Department of Homeland
Security
care? not receiving funding, that sounds pretty bad to me. That was DHS, right?
It is.
Okay, yeah.
My biggest critique of the Democratic Party, as someone who is more aligned with those politics, is that they don't do anything.
Yeah, they're not really doing anything.
It's always I always see videos of people like, well, she's not really in any sort of position anymore, but Kamala Harris being like, we need to do this about this, and I'm like, well, do it. You are the we, go do it. So I appreciate the effort to try and stop ICE, because that's what it is. If they're trying to get Donald Trump to be less strict on ICE, and they will agree to new funding for the Department of Homeland Security. But we just saw very recently how drastic the effects of a government shutdown can be on a community. And even though this isn't the whole government shutting down like it was last time, I don't know. Again, I am certain there are probably consequences out there that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's a big mess. Here, we'll see some more. Okay. See, this is cool. Well, to me, this is cool. In Nevada, the first ever brothel, like legal brothel, they've had the first ever like brothel union. All the sex workers unionized for the first time. So let's talk about something just totally random.
Yeah, it's very
out
different.
of like not. I like that. I like trying to like just do one random thing that's not like Donald Trump or Elon Musk or anything crazy.
Yeah.
So this brothel unionized. What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't even know. I guess it makes sense for that. That they need unions and stuff, especially for that field of work. It can get like the protections are not.
Okay, so I was
where they should be.
I was checking this. I didn't know. I was like, I thought sex work was like prostitution was illegal in the U.S. It is.
I think it's state by state.
It's only legal in Nevada, so that's where this is.
Oh.
So, I think generally that's pretty cool. I feel like sort of the sex work industry can be really exploitative sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And so I know this is just so random, just so out of left field. I feel like the two debates I always see are legalize it so you can they can unionize and they can regulate it better, or keep it illegal so like no one can like exploit like. But it's so. I don't know. I feel like I am just some 20-year-old from Mississippi. I have not seen the world. I don't know much about that kind of stuff. But I think that's
it's
interesting. This is just on the list for this week.
Apply that to other things like
it's called Sherry's Ranch.
Like other topics like abortion or something like that. It's like either you ban it, and people are probably going to still find ways to do so.
You know, we've got 5 minutes left. I'll throw this at you. This is interesting. I think we'll get a good conversation out of this. The documentary that just came out about Melania Trump's life. Have you seen?
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't want to see. I have not. Have you seen it? But have you like seen anything about it?
I've like Twitter posts, but no, I haven't actually seen it.
So something I saw really. Oh, are we in a? Is it break? Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, we're in a break. We'll come back soon. All right, and we're back. So we've just got a few minutes left. But yeah, this Melania Trump documentary, it's just called Melania. I found out that, well, first, a few interesting things about it. What made me think of it is I found out recently that Melania Trump is very publicly pro-choice. Which
Really?
I know, which is something I didn't know.
That's new to me.
And it was kind of surprising to me. And it has made me think, historically, Trump that's like the one thing, he has been kind of fairly pro-choice. Roe v. Wade was not overturned under him, it was overturned under Joe Biden. And generally when he talks, he's pro-choice. So that's just what made me think of it, because that's like the one thing I don't know, I always think about that. But, so, Jeff Bezos has the rights to the Melania movie. He owns it. Any thoughts on that? Do you think they're... I'm not going to say anything. Just throw that out there. It's an Amazon-produced movie. You know, they have like their own streaming service and stuff like that. Do you think he may have any interest in a documentary like that about the president's wife?
Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
I mean, aren't they like buddy?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
kind of the point I'm getting at a little bit, yeah, is... I don't know. I also have not seen it, but I've seen it described as sort of like we as a society do not know a lot about Melania Trump, and then you watch the documentary and you still don't really know a lot about Melania Trump. I don't know. I feel like I was about to say our last first lady was Michelle Obama, and I feel like we knew a lot about her, but it wasn't. It was Joe Biden's wife. And I feel like we didn't know a lot about her either.
no.
I don't know.
I can't remember her name.
Me either. Is it Jill? Is it Jill Biden?
I think so.
Okay, Jill and Joe. That's kind of cute. Good for them. But yeah, do you think you'll if you could just see it, like not buy a ticket for it, have to buy it or anything, just had the opportunity to see it, do you think you'd go see it?
It depends on how long it is. Like,
I didn't think about that. That's such a good point. It's like 3 hours long.
Is it?
Like I don't know.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm
it's
not.
like a
definitely
Christopher
not.
Nolan movie. It's 3 hours long.
I'm putting an image in my head about a documentary directed by Christopher Nolan about Melania Trump.
About Melania
That's what
Trump.
she just did.
That would be sick. No, it wouldn't.
I don't
Maybe
even
it
know.
would be.
It'd be
I would see that. Not because I think it would be good or bad, but I'd see it. Because that
'Cause it's
sounds
Christopher
crazy. Because it's Christopher Nolan. You have to see it. All right. I think. Okay, we've got a minute left. We're about to close out. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Josh. Hopefully Lily will be back next week. Hopefully she's feeling better. How do we usually close these out? Is there anything I need to say? We have a little outro or anything like that?
Wrap things up. Anything else you want to put out into the world? Maybe a question for the general audience?
All right, question for the general audience. I want you to think about this question. Would you rather fight one toddler-sized dinosaur or 10 dinosaur-sized toddlers? You can pick which dinosaur. I hope y'all have a good day. Thank you so much for joining me, Josh. And that was our little show. I hope I did a good job as a little substitute host.
I think you did.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope y'all have a nice Friday, have a nice Valentine's Day, and have a nice Mardi Gras.